Mr. Secretary.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Well, thanks so much, Senator, for your leadership, your partnership in serving the American people and the people of Wisconsin. It's truly extraordinary. I would be saying that even if she were not on the authorizing committee that oversees our work at the Department of Transportation. And I'll have more to say about her work in a moment. I want to thank and acknowledge Admiral Phillips, who's been doing such a terrific work on behalf of the administration, leading the Maritime Administration in such an important time, including the Port Infrastructure Development Program, among many other important programs. I'm so pleased to see the local leadership here and the alignment that the county executive referred to. You don't see that everywhere. I know that it's never seamless trying to get state and local and county and other folks aligned, but you can feel that shared commitment toward getting things done. It makes a difference, and it really reflects well on this community. I want to thank the mayor. Being a mayor has only become more demanding since I wore the title, but you've got so much to be proud of, Mayor. And congratulations on that news item about Green Bay's quality of life, too, another feather in your cap. Holly, thanks for sharing your story and that of the jobs and the economic activity that is such a big part of what this is all about and why we're so proud to be here. And really great to be reunited with Terry McGowan. That was a great visit we had in Coloma, seeing those young people, letting them know about the good paying jobs that there were going to be more and more of, and we are thrilled to see the good paying union jobs that are just exploding across the country, thanks in no small part to that bipartisan infrastructure law that you helped us make the case for. So thanks for joining us today. It's an honor.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And Director, thanks for the tour on that. We really felt every inch of the bay just now, but really also saw the vision and the commitment, and you got a lot to be proud of. This is a competitive program, and so it's not a small thing for you and your team to have earned this. I want to start by noting how much the conversation about ports has shifted just in the last 2 or 3 years. It wasn't that long ago that we were seeing aerial photos of some of the coastal ports with dozens, nearly 100 ships bearing down on them, and folks asking whether Christmas was going to be canceled, whether we were going to be able to get things where they needed to be. So much partnership went into making sure that year, that fall and winter of 2021, what we actually experienced was an all-time record high in terms of the goods being moved through American ports. And we've now seen those backlogs down to the single digits. We've seen transoceanic shipping rates on the Pacific down 80% from their peak, which is part of the fight against inflation. And we're seeing a lot of improvement in terms of the coordination and data sharing that's gone on. One silver lining on all of that upheaval was a greater public awareness about the importance of shipping and the importance of supply chains, which used to just be a term of art you would hear in my line of work and has now become kitchen table conversation. But one thing that I think is missing still in that national conversation is an understanding of the importance of the small and mid-sized ports and the Great Lakes ports. It's not just about those container vessels coming into our East Coast and West Coast ports. It's about the incredibly important commerce of things like the 18 different commodities that move in and out of Green Bay right here, vital to infrastructure, including all that building we're going to do with all that aggregate steel, all the other elements that are coming through here, and of course, vital to the sustainment and the competitiveness when it comes to good paying jobs here. And what we've seen is local drive to continue providing the infrastructure that's going to help that shipping sector thrive. Our view has always been that the ideas and the projects aren't all going to be thought up in Washington. The ideas don't all have to come from Washington, but more of the funding should. And that is the idea of the bipartisan infrastructure law that Senator Baldwin helped President Biden deliver, and that we're so hard at work making a reality. And that is why we were so proud to announce $10.1 million headed to Green Bay to transform this abandoned power plant into that first new terminal in nearly a century, serving this very important regional economy. And it's about time, because this city and this region is so key to Midwest commerce and so well positioned because of its infrastructure. You got a major highway just half a mile away. You got that rail line that connects right into the port. You got links into the St. Lawrence Seaway, a shipping route that can get goods from the Midwest out all around the world. And as I mentioned just now, we had a chance to take a boat tour and see a lot of the work already underway, get a sense of all of the different elements that made this project compelling. Cleaning up the brownfield site, building the new dock walls and bulkheads, constructing stormwater facilities, adding the necessary roads and utilities, repairing and extending a rail spur, and more. And that's just part of phase one. And then phase two, finally moving those coal piles from the old power plant out of downtown Green Bay, which I know everyone here is excited about, and is going to mean even more opportunity for this growing community. I saw one estimate that said that this project alone represents $87 million in economic benefits in just the 5 years, those first 5 years after it's completed, which is a pretty remarkable return on the American people's investment of $10 million federal dollars. And the reality is, good infrastructure investments always pay off like that. They create good paying jobs just in the building of them that helps workers buy homes and educate their kids, and they pave the way for businesses to transform neighborhoods and transform the future of whole communities. So yes, this is a great example of what President Biden's vision of investing in America looks like in practice. And that program, that vision of investing in America is paying off. And this is one more reason why we're so thankful to be able to work with Senator Baldwin, whose bipartisan leadership has delivered bipartisan gains and policies that are making such a difference in terms of our economy. 12 million new jobs just since the president took office, unemployment near a 50-year low, private sector investing $425 billion in new American manufacturing, not overseas, but right here in places like Wisconsin and across the nation. Seniors on Medicare and millions of others finally able to get insulin for just $35 a month. 16 million more households having access to affordable high-speed internet. And I know the senator's been spending a lot of time these last few days with veterans. I just got my card from the local veteran service officer in our county in Michigan, reminding me to get on the burn pit registry, which so many of the people that I served with are going to benefit from, because they finally got that PACT Act through to do right by those people who raised their right hands and put their life on the line for this country. That's what bipartisanship leadership looks like, and the president was proud to sign that bill. So I know we see a lot of frustrating, sometimes head-scratching news coming out of Washington right now, including right now, tug of war over the future of our budget. But what we know is that when we make these investments in the right way, when we have the right kind of leadership and engagement and decision-making, the results speak for themselves. So a big congratulations to the Port of Green Bay, to the community of Green Bay, to this whole region of Wisconsin, and we're looking forward to seeing how you put these investments to good use. And with that, do we have time for a reporter question or two? Great. My colleague Alexander will quarterback that. Happy to take a couple of questions. Yeah, so the mayor raised this almost as soon as I greeted him. I know there's a lot of excitement on the mayor's part, on the community's part, and in this region. And there's no question that this part of the Midwest has huge potential when it comes to expanded access to passenger rail. Our president famously is a big believer in passenger rail. He's the only reason that I'm not able to claim being the #1 passenger rail fan in this administration. And we have resources in the bipartisan infrastructure law to put behind that. We can't do everything all at once or overnight, but the Federal Rail Administration right now is reviewing applications into the Corridor ID program, which is helping to identify where passenger rail can be expanded and or made more frequent. No doubt in my mind that this region will be putting forward very competitive and compelling applications into that and related programs like the Fed-State partnership. And I do believe there's the potential for that to lead to significant advancements and improvements in access to rail in this area.
You mentioned the kind of partisan chicanery around the debt ceiling. So I guess speaking of McCarthy's kind of company, how important like discretionary spending cuts? How would like cuts affect bipartisan infrastructure law, also the IRA?
Well, we ran some of the numbers on what the House Republicans passed, and unfortunately, there's no way we could absorb those cuts without some clear impacts on our transportation systems. One thing you'd see is it would stop us in the modernization of air traffic control systems, like the one that created a lot of trouble for us in January when it went down for even just 90 minutes, really creating havoc for the rest of the day, and really needs to be modernized. It would stop our ability to add air traffic controllers. We definitely need more, not less, air traffic controllers right now. We've seen good results so far this year, cancellation rates staying below 2%. But as we head into Memorial Day weekend and the busy travel season ahead, very concerned about what would happen if we got stopped in our efforts to fill some of those seats that we really need to and add some of those positions that we really need to in air traffic control. We would see less inspection of our railroad system. We estimate thousands of miles less of track getting inspected. And I think after what happened in Ohio, every American understands why we should be doing more and not less when it comes to railroad safety. So I guess what I'd say is, even just from our corner of it, the transportation side, we are really concerned about what some of these cuts would mean, and I'm hopeful that a deal is going to be reached that has the common sense investments we need, while recognizing that we all care about fiscal responsibility, which is why the president put forward a budget that cuts the deficit, and will continue to find ways to cut the deficit going forward. All right.
Well, I just want to again thank Secretary Buttigieg for coming and for visiting the most livable city in the United States. We all have a little treat that we want to present you with to memorialize your trip, and to share with the family. I'll hold up one. You can hold up the other.
Oh, these are going to go over very well in this house. Look at that. Oh,
Thank you again.
They've already been to their first Packer party, so now when they go to their next one, they'll have the gear to show for it. Thank you for that. That's really kind.
Our pleasure.
That's great. Look at that. All right.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Awesome. Oh, that's great.
All right.
All right. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Great job, bro.
Nice to meet you.
Absolutely.
Good job.
Not too often I get to shake hands with our heads.
That's right.
And we'll think about coming to town.
Sure.